Hi everybody, welcome to our channel. I'm Vanessa, a local realtor here in Calgary.
I'm Karen. I'm a local mortgage advisor here in Calgary.
And if you're new to our channel is all things real estate in Calgary, both from a realtor side and a mortgage advisor side.
We're getting lots of questions right now. Is the market crashing? Is it a good time to buy? And today we're going to cover all of those topics.
But before we do that, we need to know what market we're recovering from. Where were we a couple of years ago to where we are now in 2026? So let's go back and talk about COVID and just after COVID and what happened to the market then, because I feel like nobody was prepared for how much COVID would affect everybody's lives. People were stuck at home all the time. They weren't working. People lost a lot of jobs. People lost their lives. I feel like a lot of people in areas like Toronto and Vancouver, it was getting too expensive to live. So they decided to outsource places to live. So I feel like they would move to Calgary was the next best thing. Mm-hmm. I was talking to a friend back home and they see advertisements everywhere saying move to Calgary from Toronto, move to Calgary from Toronto. And I don't think Alberta and Calgary was prepared for how much migration we would get at that time, where we didn't have enough homes built. We didn't have materials to build homes. So we had the overflow of people, but not enough properties to support that. So that's where we had the lineups for properties. Things were going well over asking price. It was so hard to get a home. Even me, like after COVID, I sold my townhouse here in the northwest of Calgary. Mm-hmm. And I remember the morning that we listed the property, that evening, within 8 hours, it sold. And we had backup offers from people that didn't even come and see the house yet and they wanted to buy it.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And it was just a crazy time. What about you from mortgage side?
Well, on the mortgage side of things, rates were at an all-time low as well. Uh, the end of COVID, March 2022, rates were low. Lots of new buyers in the market that were looking for first-time homes were buying as well at that point. So that was also a big factor. And then now looking back, just the rates have just gone up since then, and finally kind of stabilized now at the start of 2026. But yeah, that was definitely a big factor as well, and why we saw so many people entering the market as well.
Yeah, and I feel like the builders recognize and developers recognize that we had this overflow of migration for people. So they decided that, you know what, we're going to jump on that ship and we're just going to build a huge amount of properties. We're going to build tons of apartments, tons of rentals, tons of townhouses. And those homes just don't pop out of thin air. It takes time to build. It takes time to get your permits for those properties. And what's happening now is all those properties that the builders were like, hey, we're going to jump on that boat are popping up right now. Like in Calgary, we're looking at, I think it's close to 26,000 new properties popping up in 2026. Wow. And 17,000 of those properties are apartments.
Wow, that's huge. So 17,000 new properties coming in on the condo apartment side of things is going to be a big factor. Definitely in terms of people who want to sell existing apartments or condos.
I agree. Like if I had a condo and I was thinking about selling it in 2026, but I wanted to wait, because most people don't want to sell right now. They want to sell in the springtime when it's nicer because they usually think that's when the market picks up. But what they don't realize is that, yes, the market picks up in the springtime to the summer, but with 17,000 new apartments coming to the market, that's going to drive their price down a lot. I would prefer to sell now before those hit the market. That way I know I can get the most amount of money for my property, or I'd wait to see how the market's going to play out within the next couple of years. Like we can predict as much as we want to do, but things could happen like COVID. Like we didn't predict COVID to happen, right? So I personally would sell my apartment now and make it stand out to the other ones that are on the market, make it unique, make it fun and edgy and things that want to bring people to buy your apartment, versus wait till I list it with all those 17 other thousand properties that are going to pop up.
That's good advice.
We attended the 2026 Calgary Real Estate Board forecast a couple weeks ago, where they forecasted what they predict the market's going to be like in 2026. And it's predicted to be pretty much the exact same as 2025. It's a balanced market. Balanced, not in a whole. I would say different areas of the city is still leaning towards more buyer's market in the northeast, I'd say. So homes that are selling in the north are not going to be the same price as the south. Homes that are selling in the west are not going to be the same price as the east. You could have the exact same homes on both sides of the city and be completely different prices. And I know that a lot of people see on the headlines that Calgary is going into a buyer's market, and then they automatically think the market's crashing. I personally don't think the market's crashing. I think that we're just recovering from a time back to where it should be, because before this, it was absolutely insane. And now we're kind of balancing out and seeing where we are. We still are having people migrate here. I think Alberta's getting 1.5% of people migrating here. And then Calgary's seeing, I think they're projected to see a 1.3% increase for migration, which is a lot less than COVID. But like we were saying before, now we have all these properties, and that's causing an overflow in properties because we don't have too many properties now, and the migration has slowed down. What do you think now for the mortgage side with people that bought in COVID when the rates were so low, and now they're going to have to refinance? Or what do you think about that?
Well, definitely back then, with those rates being lower, a lot of people had lower mortgage payments. It was more affordable, and they were able to budget it better. But now, with refinancing coming in, majority of those are coming to that point by the end of 2026, and they are going to see those higher rates. They're going to see higher mortgage payments, and it'll be a big impact on their budget and their finances for sure. But it is
another thing is that people that are coming to that refinancing from the COVID time, the house is going to be worth a lot less than what they paid back then.
That's the problem.
So they need to balance, like, is it worth selling and getting a lower amount?
Yeah.
Or do we stay and figure out how we're going to pay the more expensive monthly payments?
Yeah.
Is there a potential for people to have, let's say if they did come up with some money to bring down their amount owing on their property, is there a penalty? Or does it depend on which type of mortgage they have?
It depends on the type of mortgage they have. We have creative solutions based on where you're at in life, what your budget's like, what your goals are like. We have a lot of creative solutions for you guys. So we can work with your budget, and figure out a plan.
Yeah.
There always are. A lot of people are in debt, and at that time you can restructure that debt too.
Yeah.
And that'll help a ton. So for example, say someone's got like 40K on their credit cards right now.
Yeah.
They've got an auto loan. And if we are at that refinancing stage, we can increase their mortgage. Yes, they'll have higher payments, but the payments will be better than all those like credit card payments and all the interest they're paying.
Yeah.
We give them a chunk of extra money, consolidate their debt basically.
Yeah.
And they put it all together, and then they get rid of all the bad stuff, and then it's just a lump sum mortgage payment. And it's just way better overall.
Yeah.
And then also on the rates side of thing, once again, just at that forecast meeting that we attended, they flattened out, and we don't see any other potential for a decrease in those. So a lot of folks that are waiting for rates to maybe decline a little bit further, that is most likely not going to happen. So we're kind of evened out for that.
What do you think of people that, let's say, are coming up to renewal, let's say in the spring to summertime, and they're like, the rates are low now, if they're not going anywhere, what if they go up by then? Would you recommend that they refinance now, or since they're not going anywhere, just ride it out until their term's done? What do you think?
I would definitely say wait till your term is done. There won't be any major fluctuations in those rates. A lot of the times, if you renew earlier, you're going to face a penalty. You don't want to be wasting your money on that. So best bet is to get in touch with a mortgage advisor such as myself, and look at your renewal letter with your existing lender, see what they're offering, and then we can go look at that and see if we can get you a better rate, better term. And of course, it all depends on your goals right now, future goals, how long you're looking to stay existing property you're at, whether you're going to move into something new, downsize, upsize, if you have any projects coming up, if you want to do some renos, all those factors play in. So we kind of look at the big picture and then what your goals are in the future, and then go from there.